We don't need this green sticker.
Yep.
All right. Are you ready to see this cool stuff?
Yep.
I've played with it a little bit. We made this cute autograph book, but I think I'm going to tweak it a little bit and we'll make the same kind of thing. What do you think? Is that cool?
Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah!
Is that fun?
Uh-huh.
All right, do you want to see this stuff that we're using?
Yep.
This stuff is from Queen & Company. Look!
Beads
This
for
is the
eyes.
Magical Characters kit, and it comes with the 6x6 paper pad, 24 sheets. It comes with all the dies. It comes with 13 unique toppings, so it has like hearts and stars, and the foam acetate pieces for shaker cards. Woo! This is probably not what you should be doing with it. This is so fun. And then it comes with the stamp set, and it has sentiments like, hats off to you, have a magical day, I'm all ears, got ears, you are quite a character, enjoy your trip, oh boy, it says, gorsh, you're how old? Who says that?
Goofy?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, we also got some more fun stuff. Now this is the stuff that comes in the kit. Queen & Company sells all of these awesome things like paracord, like the spongy cord. I used that here on the project that I was playing around with to make the like traveler's notebook type thing.
Wow!
What is that? It's toppings, and these are called gems, and you got all of these different colors. Is that a rainbow of colors?
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Oh,
Huh?
all of the colors.
You like all of the colors? Queen & Company also sells like other magical or Disney themed things. These are awesome. It has Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse things. It's so cool.
Donald
Oh, I love his pants.
And Donald Duck.
Well, that's yellow, but it's still Mickey ears.
And those are Mickey ears.
What else do we have? We have toppings that are called diamonds primary. And these are, oh, they look like diamonds, kind of like the Seven Dwarfs, like the mine train.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got all these things. These are glitter globes. What color is that?
Pinks.
Got glitter globes. We got the yellow.
For Donald Duck.
Mm-hmm. And then these are Goosebumps. They're just like smaller ones. That kind of reminds me of Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
How about these? Those are red like an apple. And then yellow like Donald Duck. And then these are called pinwheels.
Wow! Pinwheels.
Yeah, these are cool. These are like flowers.
These are where the bag stuff goes.
Oh, you've got your collection of things?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can have the rest of the things.
I can have the rest of them?
He is super cute, isn't he? So I'm taking a piece of Blueberry Sky cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, and I'm cutting it down to a card front size. So I'm using my Nuvo blender brushes and Distress Oxide ink in Chipped Sapphire and Black Soot. And I'm doing some ink blending on the outside of my paper towards the inside, leaving like a bright centerpiece. And these brushes really help you build up the color. So if you have issues with ink blending and you feel like you get a lot of splotchy marks, try these brushes. It takes a lot longer, but the buildup of color looks fantastic. I'm using this MFT stencil. This is the Radiating Rays stencil. If you remember old cartoons at the end when the characters would pop up and like be shiny, that's what I'm going for. So I'm taping down my piece that I've ink blended and my stencil, and I'm going to use Distress ink. This is regular Distress ink. So if you go to purchase this, it's a pigment ink, but it's labeled under Distress ink. This is the Picket Fence variety. This was before the Oxides, I believe. This is an older ink pad, but it's white and it's pigment ink, and it's called Picket Fence. So I'm going to use the Ranger blender brush. This one's just slightly smaller than the Nuvo one. It's still a stencil brush. Still use it in the same exact way. It's just smaller, a little bit more compact and easier to use. So I'm blending on those radiating rays, but I don't want them to go all the way to the outside like they had. So I'm taking my blender brush again and going back over the outside to kind of soften those edges and make it less bright on the edges. So this is exactly what I wanted, so I think it turned out perfectly. So now I'm taking the dies that came in the Magical Characters kit, but I'm using them differently. I'm taking some Avery repositionable paper, and I'm cutting out the ears and 2 of the bottom portions. Okay, so I'm going to make a Mickey mask, and I'm running it through my Spellbinders Platinum die cutting machine. And you need to run that bottom piece twice because you only have 1 die. And I screwed up. I totally screwed up. I needed to mask the Mickey before I did my ink blending. So here we go again. This time I'm cutting it down to the card size that I want it to be. This is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I'm masking the Mickey piece before the ink blending. This is the best way to do it. So once I get my mask onto the Blueberry Sky cardstock this time, and have it nicely secured, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I just did. So you don't need to see that again, but I'm using the chipped sapphire and the black soot and the stencil just as I just did, but this time with the mask in place like it was supposed to be. This panel is very Fantasia inspired, so I do have a photo that I was kind of looking at to go off of, but I could do it from memory too. So I'm taking my splatter box and laying my piece in the splatter box with the mask in place. So now the stencil's been inked and the sides have been inked, but now I'm taking Hero Art's white iridescent shimmer spritz and spraying that a few times down on my project. I'm also taking Tsukineko's frost and sparkle shimmer spritz. So yes, that's 3 shimmer spritzes. Okay, so it's a little overboard, but I'm running out of my sparkle. I need to reorder the sparkle stat because I love this stuff. So I've got all 3 shimmer spritzes on my background. This stuff, this panel is super sparkly. Be careful because we're not using watercolor paper.
What's the worst that could happen?
Bad stuff. Bad stuff can happen, people, so be very careful when you're adding this much wet to non-watercolor cardstock. So I've taken that same Picket Fence ink pad and I've put a little on my acrylic block, and I'm using the Ranger splatter brush to ink splatter white, and I also used pumice stone. So yes, it's white and pumice stone splatters in the background. I love the pumice stone color. Y'all know this, okay? It's a light warm gray. And yes, I'm somewhat addicted to the ink splattering effect. It's okay. I'm working through it. I love this. It turned out perfect, but I did put my fan on it so that it would dry pretty quickly instead of warping and pilling my paper. I'm going to cut the hat out of Night of Navy cardstock. This is Stampin' Up. This is the darkest blue cardstock that I own. I need to actually order some more. And I've also cut it from the same Blueberry Sky cardstock that we started with. So this gives it the illusion that it's the same color, but we've ink blended, so the background still has dimension. I'm cutting a piece of copy paper to adhere to the back of my hat because I'm going to do some inlaid die cutting. All this is a backing so that I have something to adhere my pieces to. So now those stars and the moon are sticky because I added tape runner adhesive, and I'm just sticking them in there. Sometimes you might want to add a little extra liquid adhesive, but this worked out for me. So now I need to do the brim of the hat, and I'm cutting that also in Night of Navy. After the brim gets cut out and adhered to the top part of the hat, I wanted to do like a partial Mickey effect, and so I'm using the pattern paper that comes in the kit. This is red polka dots, and I'm cutting just the bottom half of the round Mickey portion, and we're gonna do some enhancements. So this is the big reveal of the Mickey, the masked Mickey. I think it turned out pretty cool. All I needed was the top half of that circle to be masked, but this is the best way to do it. So I'm cutting the ears out of black. I think this is Simon Says Stamp or Lawn Fawn Black Licorice. I'm not sure. I believe that label says Simon Says Stamp, so there. So now we need a sentiment, and I wanted this to be, although the sentiments are very character specific in this set, which I love, I picked You Are Quite a Character because this is going to be an autograph book, and I don't want to offend any of the characters. So I put You Are Quite a Character in VersaFine ONYX black ink, and I did stamp it several times to get a nice crisp black image. I also made another autograph book and I personalized it. I'll show some pictures of it on my blog if you're interested, but you can personalize these autograph books. I'm popping up this piece with black craft foam and double-sided adhesive. This is a half sheet of cardstock. This is a typical side fold cardstock. I've just scored it to the left and to the right of the 4 1/4 mark. So it's slightly smaller now than the 4 1/4 mark. This just gives me an area to do the binding so that we can have paper inside for the characters to sign. I'm using Lawn Fawn glue tube liquid adhesive to adhere these ears in place just like a puzzle. So just line it up to where the mask was. That's another good reason to mask before you ink blend. And then I'm using Scotch 3M foam tape to pop up the hat and also the little red body, the Mickey body. I'm also going to take the little yellow Goosebumps that were sent to me with the supplies from Queen & Company. These are the yellow Goosebumps, and I'm just putting them like little buttons on his pants. I think that is so adorable. Now, in order to give the characters something to sign, I've just got some copy paper cut slightly shorter than a half sheet, okay, because you want it to fit nicely inside your binding. I'm taking a 1/16 hole punch and I'm punching a hole at the top and the bottom. This is like 10 sheets of paper, so like we could have 20 different characters sign, or more than that, but I'm making a mark at the bottom and the top on the binding. I did end up trimming my paper slightly smaller at the end just because I wanted it to fit in there a little bit better. This is like paracord, also by Queen & Company. You can see it on my little testy autograph book here, where it's stretchy, you know, elastic. So we're feeding it through the top and then the bottom, and we're making sure all of our stuff is bound in this, okay? So the paper and the cardstock, and we're going to make it so that we can tie a little knot on the interior of, I did the last one on the exterior. I didn't like that one as much, so I'm making the knot on the interior of the book and trimming them off, and I kind of slide it to the top so it's not real noticeable when you open it. But then it's bound. You have a little book. Isn't that cool? So we're just gonna make sure our panel is firmly attached to the front of our autograph book. I think this turned out fabulous. I can't wait to take it to Disney. I did corner round the edges of the book so it looks a little more finished. Boom! This one's done. I hope you guys are inspired to create your own magical characters autograph book. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Follow me on social media. Find Queen & Company. And until next time.
Where are we going, bud?
I don't know.
We're going to the Christmas Festival. Is that what it's called? Christmas Village.
Yeah, the German, Northern European. I don't know. You know what? They got sausage and pretzels and beer and cheese. So that's what I'm in for.
What about cake?
Will they have cake?
I don't know. But they have like handmade ornaments and different crafty kind of stuff that you'll like. I'm going to eat badly. You're gonna go.
They don't have any toys.
Fighting. I don't know. You'll have a fine time, Dexter.
All right. What you seeing? Dinos?
Beautiful picture of the reflection.
Yeah. Can't see the dinos, but they're in there.
But the birds are beautiful.